I just made this high carb, low fat, low sodium stew. If you're interested in seeing how it's made, stick around and I'll show you the recipe. What you will need is 1 pack of carrots. You need potatoes, celery, green peas, onion, garlic, flour. You need tomato sauce, and then your seasonings are bay leaves, thyme, ground pepper, oregano, and some soy sauce. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is make a roux. And traditionally, a roux is equal parts of fat and flour. We're not going to use fat. So we're going to put the fire on about medium. And then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of flour. And we're going to start with about a 1/2 cup of water. We probably will need to use more. That's about a 1/2 cup. And we're just going to cook this until the flour cooks. Move it all around, get all the flour nice and moist. And I'm going to add a little bit more water, make it more liquidy and less pasty. That's better. Okay. So I'm going to stand here for the next 5 to 10 minutes and just stir this until, usually with the normal roux, it would be until the liquid starts to turn a dark brown color, almost like coffee or tea. But when you're using just water, it doesn't really turn a dark brown color. So I'll come back and show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes. I ended up adding a 1.5 cups of water because as you cook it, the water cooks out of it. But this is what it looks like when it's cooked. It's kind of thick and pasty still, but see, it doesn't really change colors like the traditional roux does. So at this point, I'm going to add 1 chopped onion and cook that for about another 5 minutes or so, just until the onion is a little translucent. Okay. So I'm going to let that cook now. When I'm cooking onion, I think of it more as sweating it out, especially since I don't use oil. So I like to cover it and just let it cook. Just check on it every now and then, especially since it has the roux in there. Don't just let it sit because it'll burn. Okay, so it's been cooking for a little over 5 minutes, and it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but the onions are just semi-translucent. I had to add another 1/2 cup of water because, again, as it cooks, the water cooks out of it. It doesn't stick around like oil does. So at this point, I'm going to add 4 cloves of garlic and just let that cook for about 3 minutes or so. It doesn't need to cook long. Just want it to heat up. Ooh, steamy. So I'm going to let that cook for about 3 minutes. Okay, so the garlic has been cooking for about 3 minutes. So now we're going to work on building the sauce. So I'm going to add 2 cans of tomato sauce. 1. Two. Mix that up. Okay, and then to this, I'm going to add my seasonings, which I have in here. 1 tablespoon of thyme, 2 tablespoons of oregano, and about a teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper. Put that in there. Just mix that in. The next things we're going to add to the sauce are, we are going to add 4 bay leaves and 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Soy sauce gives it the tanginess. And then what I did was I took one of my cans of tomato sauce and I just filled it up with water. And we're going to add that in there too. Okay. And we're going to let this cook, let the sauce cook and let the flavors combine for about 20 to 30 minutes before we start adding anything else. Stir it occasionally. Keep an eye on it. You just don't want it to let it burn, but let this sauce cook and really combine well. So the sauce has been cooking for 20 minutes now and it's looking really good. So I'm going to go ahead and add my veggies. And the veggies that I'm adding, I have 5 pounds of cut up potatoes, 1 pound of carrots. This is maybe about 2 cups of cut up fresh green beans, and then 1 pound of celery. You can add whatever veggies you want. You can add mushrooms or anything really, but this is just a combo that I like. So I'm going to go ahead and add all of these veggies now. Here are the veggies in. I'm just going to stir it up to mix it up. Get all the onions and the garlic and the seasonings from the bottom all mixed up. Okay, and I'm just going to add some more water. Just to cover. Let's see how that is. Okay, that's good. Okay, so yeah, enough water just to cover it, and I'm going to cook this until the veggies are tender, fork tender, and then it's done. So I will show you what it looks like in maybe 30-40 minutes. I forgot to add my green peas, so I'm going to go do that now. Alright, this is probably 2, maybe 3 cups. Oh no, not even that. 2 cups of green peas. You just mix that up. Those are just frozen green peas. Okay. Put the lid back on. My heat is pretty high. I'm going to bring this to a boil and then bring the heat down and let it simmer for about 30 to 40 minutes until the vegetables are fork tender. So this has been cooking for a while, and I find that the sauce is a little soupy. It's a little thin. So I'm just going to add this 3rd can of tomato sauce. I kind of thought I would need it, which is why I got it. So I'm just going to throw this in there too. I'm going to let it keep cooking. So the stew is pretty much done. I just did a taste test and it's not quite where I want it to be. So I'm going to just add a little bit of soy sauce. Just about a tablespoon, maybe 2. Okay. And then just a few little squirts of Tabasco. And that's it. Stir it in. All the veggies are nice and cooked. And that's it. We're done.